So welcome to another episode on Paul's Asian Adventure. Hey guys, in this one I am with Filipina Life with Mia, my girlfriend, and today we were going to discuss living here in Lapu Lapu, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey guys, so in this episode I wanted to discuss living here in Lapu Lapu, how it compares to living other places in the Philippines. So basically it might help you choose a place to live, who this place is good for, who it's not good for, and we'll start with cost of living, as that's a very important part of choosing a place. Now I have found cost of living here is pretty similar to our last place, Dumaguete.
Yeah.
The rent is somewhat more expensive, but everything else is basically the same.
Yeah.
Now we do go out and eat more often maybe here and have more coffees, since we have it closer than we did in Sion. And Sion we had a bigger house that was actually cheaper than our condo. So, you know, we eat out more, so that costs more, but that's a choice. That's something we choose to do. So cost of living is about the same, a bit more than other places in the Philippines maybe. So what else have you noticed, Mia, that you consider a positive here in Lapu Lapu?
For a single guy, I would say this is a good place.
I would totally agree.
Because it is near the call center, and in a call center, of course, you know, there's a lot of girls working there.
Well,
articulate girls that speaks very good in English, and you can communicate well. And
you're talking about Newtown. No, Lapu Lapu is not just Newtown. But yes, Newtown. Yeah. Living in Newtown, you have 2 call centers, and you have shops and grocery stores and everything. So it's a great place to live for a single guy. So guys, before I continue, I would ask you to do me a great favor, and that is to subscribe, share, comment, and like, because all those help on the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done that, please consider doing it, and especially the sharing, guys. That really helps my channel grow. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, plus you have a swimming pool, so if you meet a girl, you can easily just take her to a coffee, and you can go swimming afterwards. It's a great place for single guys. So and we know guys who are single here, and they're having the time of their lives.
They're enjoying it.
Yes, as they should.
Yeah.
As they should. Yes. So for a single guy, I think, me personally, I think from what I've seen, this is much better than a place like Dumaguete.
Yes.
And the other reason for that is that, you know, Dumaguete and other places that are more kind of a province place, if you date one girl, everybody knows, right?
Yes.
And more than probably that girl's dated another foreigner, you know. While here it's more anonymous.
Because there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of girls.
A lot of girls.
Yeah.
You know, if you date one girl and then you meet another, chances of them knowing each other are minimal.
Yeah.
While in Duma, it seems like everybody knows everybody, even though they don't. It's like a jungle telegraph, right? So there's that advantage, I think, for single guys, both the location, the amount of availability, the ease of dating, and you know, it's just a better place to date. That's obvious. Other positives, I would say, is the infrastructure, both the roads, the amount of traffic, and the internet. I'll start with traffic. I'll start with the roads. The roads here are better, in my opinion. No potholes. Well, there are potholes, but...
There are potholes, but less than what we have in Duma.
Yeah. Things get fixed quicker.
Yeah.
Like if there's a problem on the road, I notice it, like it's fixed within a week or two. In Duma, it could go 6 months maybe, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yes.
So the roads are better. Traffic is less, even though...
For now,
but the same with Duma, right? You have to compare it now, right?
Okay.
I mean, think about it when when the things open up, how much more traffic is it going to be in Duma? You remember before the pandemic?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Crazy.
Yeah.
The pollution to me is a lot less too here. Like, I remember when I was in Duma and I drive from, well, we lived in Bakong, from Bakong into Duma to work out and drive back. I mean, I'd have a small, kind of noisy here, so I'd have a small layer of soot here. Remember, you clean me and it'd be like black. While here, that's not necessarily true, right?
It's more on our arms because we're...
But it's less pollution here.
Yes.
And one of the things that I like here compared to Duma and Bakong is Duma and Bakong, you had all those sugarcane trucks that were 40,
big one.
And they're 40 years old, 30 years old, spewing out pollution like crazy. I don't know how they pass the yearly test. That to me is unbelievable, but they do. So that's another advantage. What other advantage can you think of living here that you noticed?
The transportation, it's much better because like here they have this Mactan airport, which if you want to go back to your country, it's easier, less hassle, and it's much faster because I mean here in Lapu we're near the Mactan airport, right?
Yes. So you have the airport, you have the bus, the main terminals, the north and south terminal, big bus stations that go everywhere. You have the shipping,
the boats.
You know, the ferries that they go to Manila, they go to CDO, they go to Bohol, they go to Negros.
Anywhere.
So many places.
Easy access on transportation.
If you live here, you have easy access to the rest of the Philippines, unlike many other places.
Yeah.
So that's if you are a foreigner here, might be an important thing. It might not be important for everybody, but for me, that's a big plus.
Yeah.
Because now I can get on the plane and go anywhere. Well, not in this environment, but you know, when things change, right?
Yeah.
So what else do you, and of course, there's, like you said, there's a lot of buses here, and they go all over Cebu. I mean, all over Cebu Island. So it's easy. I mean, we took a bus from Newtown to SM City. You know?
But it took us like an hour.
Yeah, I know. Any local transportation is going to take longer. Same in any country, right, than driving. But it's kind of nice. Sometimes you don't want to drive, you don't want to go on a scooter, you can just take a bus.
Yeah. Right? Or taxi.
But taxi is more expensive. To me, the other plus is all the restaurants and coffee shops. Like just in Newtown, we have 2 coffee shops, and just outside Newtown, we have another coffee shop, which is literally 2 minutes with a scooter, or maybe 6-7 minutes to walk to. So we have a Starbucks, a Civet, and Tom and Tom's just outside Newtown.
Yeah.
And so we have 3 coffee shops. We have a whole bunch of restaurants.
There's 2 more coming.
And 2 more restaurants coming, opening within months. There is a bar here with a dance floor.
Yeah, I fear a bar.
I mean, for a single guy, you know, go meet girls there if you want. Not the place I would meet girls, but you know, if that's your thing. You have a grocery store here, a bit more expensive than buying it outside. We have a wet market, several wet markets in Lapu Lapu, but just outside Newtown.
Well, we also have another grocery, like
we have Save More.
Save More and Gaisano.
Gaisano Mall, there's another grocery store. So we have malls, so basically you have everything you need here, so that's a great advantage. You have the diversity of restaurants, you have everything from Indian, Korean, you have Chinese, Italian, Thai, you know, all kinds of food. You even have good burgers over here, which kind of surprised me. You have great pizzas, we found great pizza here.
Yeah.
So that's, the diversity here is great.
That's the pros.
That's the pros. There was another pro, but right now I've forgotten it. So we'll just go on to the cons. For me, the biggest con here is access to nature.
Yeah.
I loved being in Duma. I could take a 15, or we could take a 15-minute drive up to Valencia, and be in this beautiful nature with no traffic and go walking.
Less pollution, like
No pollution.
the air is just
Clear.
yeah,
And it's
fresh air.
and the people who have watched our walk and talks in Valencia, you know that already. You've seen the beautiful nature, and there's so much beautiful nature in Dumaguete. Easy access to nature, easy access to mountains, easy access to beaches. So that way Duma beats Lapu Lapu easily, and most big cities, I would say. So that's the biggest con to me here, is that the other advantage right now that I forgot to mention is that there's not a lot of foreigners here. So that's a great thing. I think if you
What?
come, there's not a lot of foreigners here.
So that's the advantage.
That's a great thing. If you come to the Philippines, you don't want to just hang around foreigners. You want to be around Filipinos, right? And if you're a single guy, that's a big advantage. That's for sure. So
Oh yeah.
I think the negative with like a place like Duma is that there's so many foreigners there, right? So what else can you think of that is either positive or negative living in Lapu Lapu?
Well, when this opens up, it's gonna be a lot more traffic.
Well, that's going to be everywhere, right?
Well, especially here in Cebu, it's
True.
you know that before the pandemic, right? That's why
Yeah.
you don't want to live here in Cebu.
Yeah, that's true.
So that would be the cons when everything opens up. This is gonna be flocked by tourists.
Yeah, before I lived here for 3 months, and there was absolutely no way I would have ever bought a scooter here. Living in Cebu City. I was living in Cebu City, close to Ayala Mall, somewhere called Mabolo. And it was just, to me, driving in traffic here was terrifying.
I mean, you could walk, and then the traffic is
and I
just
could take that's what I did. I took taxis and I walked. I didn't drive. But once I moved to Dumaguete,
you
there's no choice.
you don't have any choice but
So I
to
started
buy a
driving.
new scooter.
Yeah. So something also great about Cebu Island in general is there's a lot of nature here. There is that in Negros too.
There is a lot of nature, but it's not really an easy access because like we are far away from nature, and if we wanted to go, like just do a walk and talk, you have to drive for like an hour or
But
something.
there's a lot of islands outside of Cebu that you can go to. There's a lot of nature within 1, 2, 3 hours. So day trips are doable. The roads are better here in general. The other thing I forgot here to mention is that driving is much safer. My experience with driving in Negros is horrific. People drive, to me, a bit crazy over there because the reason is because there seems to be no enforcement over there. I've never seen anybody get a ticket for driving crazy. I've never seen anybody get a ticket for driving fast or parking in the wrong place.
Or stepping in the middle of the road.
Stopping in the middle of the road, while here
you can do
they're
that.
handing out tickets left and right. So people learn quickly. They gotta follow the rules here. Hell, I've gotten 2 tickets here, and I'm not a crazy driver. But
You're just a reckless driver.
I'm just a reckless driver. That's right. So I think driving here is much safer, and the infrastructure is better. So overall, I feel safer here. But I really do miss like Valencia, and I could see myself one day in the future
living there.
It's just because the weather is nicer. It's 5 Celsius, colder
It rains
typically.
a lot.
Rains a lot, which I love. So, and it's got beautiful nature, fresh air. The only thing it really doesn't have is a gym and access to a supermarket. You have to go down to Dumaguete. But a gym, you can.
They have good gyms.
You can, instead of renting a condo, you can rent a house and put a home gym in there.
Yeah.
And the shopping, you could go down once a week and do major shopping and buy a freezer or something. So there are ways around that. The other thing here, that big advantage here, is the internet and no brownouts. Well, I say no brownouts.
There is brownouts.
There is brownouts, but they are short.
Yeah,
Not all day brownouts, and not as many.
not as many.
Since I've been here, I've noticed 3 brownouts. Now, if brownouts happened at night, I don't notice them, or if I'm gone, I don't notice them. But I've noticed 3 brownouts, and they were from 5 to 10 minutes to maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
So really, it's not like Dumaguete, you have 12-hour
The
brownouts 2 or 3 times a month, and then all these other brownouts, unscheduled brownouts, plus the internet. I mean,
it's so much faster.
we had the same package in Dumaguete,
PLDT, yeah.
30M up and down, and we have the same package here, but through Globe. And the one here is just 30 all the time.
Fast.
The one
like, in Duma,
it would slow down to 5 sometimes.
Yeah, and if
3.
it rains a lot,
if it rains, it was
it's
almost gone. And it's supposed to be fiber, so that's not supposed to happen. The guys were out there several times and it was never fixed. So I'm sure other people in Dumaguete have a different experience with that. I'm sure they have better than what we had. That's kind of an individual experience. But you know, that's kind of important for me that works online, is that I have good internet and less brownouts.
yeah.
So to me, that's an important thing. Now, other places in Lapu Lapu I don't know about. I can just really talk about Newtown, plus this other place I lived in, Lapu Lapu, close to the bridge. I think we had 1 brownout in 2 months. So, you know, it's not a typical thing, it seems, here. It seems they put more money into infrastructure. I'm not sure why, but it just seems to be the case. Things seems to get done in Cebu like this.
I mean, it's very intelligent way if they do that, because like if they put monies on infrastructure, pretty sure the economy here will grow up even more.
Will grow more, yeah.
Yeah, and that helps the people here. You know, if you've seen, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're building a lot of
condos
here now, so that also helps the locals.
economy. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like Cebu in general is a better run place. But I'm going to ask you this question. If you have a choice, let's say you're going to live in one place for the next 5 years or 10 years for that matter, would you choose Valencia or would you choose Lapu Lapu, Cebu?
I would just choose Valencia.
Valencia.
Yes.
So even though with all the negatives that are there compared to here that we mentioned, you would still choose Valencia because of what?
Because it is more of a family-oriented place. It is very clean, you know, and rains a lot. I love rain, you know that, right? And I mean, easy access to nature, plus I guess they're building, like the roads are just the same here, you know. And I mean, if you want to do some shopping, you could just do a shopping for 1 week
At a time.
yeah, and that's enough, right? I mean, you don't need to be in a place where, like, you know, there's not a lot of nature. It's not easy access. I mean, I love nature. I love going to natures because nature helps us calm.
So for me, I would choose Valencia too, even though it has all the negatives. And the reason I say that is because next year, or the end of this year maybe, Starlink will be available in the Philippines. So that's not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
And internet is getting better. So maybe by the time, if we decide to move back one day, internet will be reliable there. Maybe by that time the grid will have been built out, so there's less brownouts, hopefully. If not, you can especially if you rent a home long term, you can get a generator, right?
Yeah.
Plus eventually I'd like to have a garden. I like to garden. And above everything else is the coolness, the weather, and the rain, and the nature. I love all that.
That's what draws me to Valencia.
Yeah. So, however, having said that, if I was a single guy,
You would choose here.
I would choose here, no doubt. You know, I'll finish up by saying this. All of us are individuals. Some of you will prefer Lapu Lapu. Others will prefer Valencia.
Dumaguete.
Others will prefer Davao, CDO. And I'm hoping to start a mini-series about different cities since I haven't been in all these cities, I'll do some research and try to find people who have lived there. So if you live in a particular city, you want to talk to me, or I would be interested in talking to you. Basically, it doesn't have to be on cam or on YouTube, but if you'd send me an email or send me a message on Facebook Business or Facebook Messenger, and I'd like to get some info on the place you live, because I'm starting a mini series on places to live in the Philippines. Of course, I can talk
Maybe
about
later on we could explore it.
Later on we will explore it personally, but you know, it also depends on the person. I mean, one person might contact me, be married, and live in a place, have a different perception than somebody who's single. So one other thing I forgot to mention is disability. Newtown, if you have some type of disability, Newtown is actually not a bad place, because they have all these ramps and everything. Unlike other places in the Philippines, it would be very difficult to get around as a disabled person. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Especially sharing really helps my channel grow, and that's what you can do for me. If you would help my channel grow. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.